Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler, and together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games. And share them with you!
Now today we have a Q&A coming to you to tell you a little bit more about us. You've been around and we talk a lot about board games, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about ourselves.
And we hit an amazing milestone, because you guys, you folks, everybody out there, is so amazing! 1,000 subscribers, never in my lifetime. Never in my lifetime.
And if you entered our Cascadia giveaway, we're gonna announce the winner at the end of the video.
Well, without further ado, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. Let's get to the questions.
So we're gonna divide them into two parts. We're gonna do more non-board game related questions first, and then the majority of the board game questions.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off. Mark asked, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Difficult. I would like
Easy.
to fight the horse-sized duck.
That's outrageous. You obviously fight the 100 tiny horses.
No, Canada.
You just walk through them.
Canada has Canadian geese.
They're spooky.
We're prepared to fight something.
You can't even handle Canadian geese.
You don't know
Goose.
that. You don't know that.
You literally run away from all of them.
I do not.
Next question. So many of folks asked us how we met, so we're gonna put their names here. And thank you so much for the question, and we'll tell you the story.
Yeah, kind of random, but we have mutual friends. I had a mutual friend that I took economics classes with, and Ilya took math classes with, and we both come from a math background, and we were looking for one more course.
A math modeling course together.
Yeah.
And I remember this day very specifically because our mutual friend asked both of us to save 4 seats, so one for each of us, and then two for like our friend and the other friend. So we both got there actually early to class, and Ty was at the very back of the class. I was at the very front of the class, which is probably telling.
I like sitting at the back.
But it was very stressful because I had to like back on one seat, like a book on the other, and like a stretch hand on the other. I was sweating because the other 2 friends didn't show up till like it was like almost class time.
Yeah, one of our friends was, I'm pretty sure, late.
And then so they got there. We called Tyler over to the front of the class, and I was like, "Wow, what a cute boy!"
And that's all she wrote.
Yep. And we started dating that summer.
Yeah, we did a project together. Things kind of just clicked, and we went from there.
So that is how we met. Next question is from Boo Olivia. I like the Halloween name.
I love that name.
Very nice. What characters from books, movies, whatever, were you most influenced by growing up? Did you want to emulate those characters or be friends with them? Mine was Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh, and I just really wanted to be friends with him.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, what about you?
I wanted to be friends with Aang the Avatar.
I also went through a Dragon Ball Z phase because I loved Dragon Ball Z.
I just love anime.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh phase.
Yeah, that's fair.
Had the cards and everything.
Pokemon.
Yeah, love Pokemon. Yeah, I think Naruto a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of anime in there.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of books. I remember like Aragon was one of my favorite books in I think middle school, and and I was so sad when they did not do as well in the movie because I'm like, this is the new big thing, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, I was really excited for the movie, and I think I let that excitement block my consideration for the actual movie, and I just watched it a bunch of times because why not?
Okay, next question. So Games with Kersey asks, what is our favorite food? And I guess we'll pair this as well with Ameritrash Talk. What's your favorite kind of cheese?
Ooh.
So food and then cheese, or cheese and food, whatever you want.
Whatever I want. I really love me a pasta, but specifically
Cheesy.
for food, I think either lasagna or chicken Alfredo.
Yeah, both so good.
So either of those are amazing, and I love.
I love anything coconut. Desserts, food, curries, chicken, fish, anything coconut.
Oh yeah, we had chicken fish.
Yeah,
Or
chicken.
coconut fish.
But if I had to pick one, I think I could eat coconut shrimp every day. They're so good. And then my favorite type of cheese is probably Havarti, but I like any smoked cheese. So
wait, is Havarti like the almost spicy one? Almost?
No, it's not.
Or is it like a?
It's more
like
creamier.
white?
It's white. It's creamier.
Okay.
We usually have. That's the
Yeah,
cheese that
I
we
think
usually
that's
have
what
in
that.
the house.
I'm trying to think of
But it's
the
not
one.
spicy. There's
But there's a
sometimes
spicy variant.
Yes,
Yeah,
there is.
okay.
What's your
That's
favorite
the one
cheese?
I like the most. But if I had to pick, I would go with like that or a white cheddar.
White cheddar. Can't go wrong with a white cheddar. Our next question is from Sophie. Which of your pets is your favorite?
This is a trap question. I just
it?
know it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's your favorite?
I think Beasley. She's our first, but I love all of them. Swanson was like first love at first sight. I don't think either Beasley or Maggie I loved as fast as I loved Swanson. Especially Maggie, because she was in her
And
brat
still is.
brat months for a long time.
She's still in.
I love her now though.
She's still in brat phase though.
I love them all for different reasons, but I think good old Beanu has like the biggest place in my heart.
That's fair. Swanson is the cat that I always dreamed of having. I never really like. My hesitancy with cats was that they're when I got one, they would turn out scary or like not like me and avoid me completely, and that's not the type of animal that I really want in my house.
So Swanson's your
So
favorite?
Swanson, no, Swanson is not my favorite, but Swanson wins a special place in my heart just because we
He's a
got
pretty
really
special
lucky,
cat,
and
yeah.
he was the ideal cat for me at least. Beasley will always be amazing to me because she's the first, but I think
Maggie won your heart.
Maggie has won my heart. She's just such a brat, but
She's a
also
goof.
she reminds me so much of my dogs growing up, and I just like I loved those dogs to death. So like it's almost
They're
what's
back.
that word? It's reminiscent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question we have is from Better Half Reviews. If you were a superhero, what would be your superpower?
Oh yeah, we're going back to the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
I would be essentially a waterbender.
That's pretty cool.
Simple answer. That's
As
it.
long as you don't do any blood bending.
Do you know that they can plant bend and swamp bend and all this stuff?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I want more of that series on my TV.
True.
My superpower would be, I think, to read minds. Not quite control minds, but just to read minds. Because it'd be so nice to know like if people like you or they don't like you, or if they want
Or what you need
conversation
to
to
say.
end, what you need to say. If someone's just having a bad day, because then sometimes you just have these negative encounters and you think it's all your fault. Somebody could just be having a bad day and you're like, oh, it's just they're having a bad day, it's not me.
That's such a wholesome answer. And here I am over here
Waterbending?
hoping I can waterbend. Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong, I can do a lot of mischievous things if I could read people's minds too. Think of all the bank accounts.
Okay, it
Just
just
kidding.
turned to
I am a
180.
superhero. So, last question for our Get to Know Us section, not board games, is what is your second favorite hobby from Board Dad?
Oh, this one's a strange question, and I really appreciate it. But like the board games is like probably our top hobby. But we've managed, because of this content creation space, we've been able to merge like
Intertwine.
my second favorite hobby into it as well, which is photography. And then videography obviously is dabbled in. But if I had to say a different one outside of all of that, it would either be rec sports or video games. Yeah.
I think mine would be playing music. Music is like my self-care, de-stress. We have a piano, we have a guitar, and I'm very shy about it, but we did have a music video we made for board games, and there may be some in the future.
Yeah.
But it's always just my little personal go-to hobby. Yeah. So now that is it for the personal questions. Let's talk board games.
Board games.
So first question is from Tim. How do you handle the possibility of a bias when reviewing a game provided to you by publishers?
Great question. Great question.
So we're very grateful because we do have the opportunity to review several games that publishers have provided us, and I think overall we try to be as objective as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the relationships that we build, not only with us and publishers, but us and you. If we're spew lies at you left, right, and center, be look at this amazing game, look at this amazing game, that's not gonna do you any good. That's not gonna do us any good. We're not gonna just throw games at you for no reason. Most of the games we actually review and take a look at are games we play on a consistent basis and we actually really enjoy.
Yeah.
Because if we don't like a game, it's really rare that we talk about it.
We probably won't do anything about it.
No.
And I mean, we talk to the publishers or anybody who reaches out to us before they decide to send us the game. They share with us any information that they can about the game. We tell them we've got some like terms and conditions that we send along to them. But if we don't feel like the game is our type of game, we simply just say, sorry, we don't think we could do this game justice because it's not in our realm.
Yeah. We do have a pre-screening process. We definitely don't review everything that people ask us to review. Our goal with our whole channel is to inspire you to play games. And it doesn't really do us any good to be like, look at this terrible game that we don't like this about this, and this. Because that's not going to inspire you to play it. So it doesn't really mesh with our goal. But in our videos too, we look at different elements like why you should check it out and who this game might be for, but also who this game might not be for. So we have a why don't you check it out section.
Yeah, and I think that's very intentional because like when we first started doing this, what we wanted to do was try to get more individuals that weren't sure if they wanted to be in the board game space. They were a little bit nervous about all the games because it was very overwhelming, and we were just like, we want to be able to introduce these more simple games or slightly advanced games that people might not know about, and we think that folks
make
would
games
enjoy.
less intimidating, because a lot of games, there's a couple of core mechanics, but once you know them, it's easier to get into. So just make it the whole genre more friendlier. And that's what we're going to keep trying to do.
Exactly.
Although we do love heavy games, and we're going to talk about them real soon.
Hopefully.
You ready? The next question we have is from Jones Family Games Night. What was your favorite moment in a game? Like an amazing combo play, a piece of luck, or hilarious revelation?
I know it.
Me too.
I think it might be the same.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
The Mind Extreme.
The Mind Extreme. I did not.
It was the same.
It was the same. So here we are. It is a game night with two of our friends, and they love the Mind, and we love showing the Mind to anybody who doesn't know it because it's so much fun to play for the first time, because you can see like the veins start popping on the foreheads, the intense pressure, and this was the perfect group. We had so much fun playing the Mind, so we're gonna show you the Mind Extreme. And in this game, essentially, you have an ascending and descending deck of cards, and you get cards dealt out, and you're trying to play them without talking in order. So one deck ascending, so there's two decks going at the same time. And to make it even tougher, some of the rounds are played face down. So you actually can't see the cards that you are playing. So we had about 7 or 8 cards in our hands.
I don't know, whatever the round number is where you have both of them face down, we had that many cards in our hand.
And in my head, I was just like, okay, we have a throwing start, which allows us to discard like the lowest or the highest card. We have a few lives. We're going to say go, we're going to breathe, we're going to play any immediate cards, like if there's 50s or 1s, we're going to place them right away. We're going to play the throwing start, it's going to be very calm, very strategic. We say go, and the game is over in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's heartbeats.
We immediately just smash cards all so fast. And we could not stop laughing.
Oh yeah, it took us a while before we actually like settled down to
even
check how well we did.
But it was like one of those moments that you cannot recreate, you cannot do again, and I'll never forget it. It's my highlight of, I think, board games in general.
Well, and what made it even better is eventually once we settled down, we took the card pile and we were like, okay, well, let's see how bad we did.
We thought we did terrible.
And we thought we did absolute garbage. So we start flipping over these cards and we're like, wait, what? What? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And we were actually like going in ascending and descending order in the piles.
We still lost.
We still made
But it was actually
mistakes,
like comparative to what you think it would be, and playing 5 seconds between like 20 like, to 30 cards. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a very special dear moment in my heart for dear words. Dear
it has a special place
in my heart. Yes. Next question. Okay, now from Cult Cardboard. What's a game that came across your table and you liked it lots and you were sure it was going to be a hit, but the board game community sort of passed on it? Do you have one in mind?
I think I have mine, but I wouldn't say it was passed on.
Okay.
It was just less popular than I thought it was going to be.
That's fair.
And that would be Tidal Blades. It's just a fantastically produced game. The theme, the story behind it is so like immersive. Like, if I had to live in a board game, that's the first game that comes to my mind. because they've done such a
beautiful.
great job establishing
Mhm.
everything, and they're creating more games out of it because of it. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be
And an
very
RPG.
exciting. Yeah.
It's really cool.
So, but I thought it was going to be more popular. It still is popular,
Mhm.
but I just thought it was going to be
That's
more
fair. For me, it'd have to be Pendulum from Stonemaier Games.
Yep.
I just thought the real-time implementation of like the real-time mechanic and how clever it was so interesting, and I really enjoy when we play it.
Yeah, because we hadn't seen anything like that before.
No, and I don't think a lot like that exists. So I thought it would be an instant hit. People would be raving about it because we've had so much. We played that game as soon as we got it, pretty much every day for
Yeah,
a
it was
few
a
weeks.
lot of fun. Yeah.
And I think the best part about it is that like we were really equal in like the skill expertise kind of in the game.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And that's what made it super fun. But I think it was pretty tough to introduce it to other people because we'd crush them if they haven't played it, and the non-timed version is just not the same. I
Yeah.
find.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that maybe that's why it wasn't as
Maybe,
popular, is because because you have time. It's a time restricted game.
You have to kind
You
of put
have
time
to
into it to learn it.
really efficiently
practice.
use your moves,
Yeah.
and you only do that by playing it more.
I want to play that game now.
Maybe we will.
Okay, next question from Dominic. What is something you'd like to see changed about one of your favorite games? I know mine instantly.
I also know mine, but go ahead.
Okay, so mine would be Calico. I absolutely adore Calico. It's one of my favorite games, hence the question and that correlation. But I would love to have like one special button that you can keep for the whole game and it gets you an extra point, or you can exchange it to reset the 3 tiles in the middle. Because sometimes you so desperately want one color or even one pattern, and it just doesn't come, and Tyler keeps stealing it, and it hurts my soul. So even knowing that I made an attempt to try to get it would make me feel better.
Yeah, that's fair. I think at any other player count than 4, I would strongly agree with you. But I feel like it filters through fast enough in the
What's
4
yours?
player. But yeah, mine would have to be with Paladins. And it is my favorite game, and will be probably for a while now. But the reason I would say I have an idea of what could be changed about the game is it's just, in my mind, it's just such a broad game. There's so many different ways and routes and choices that you can make that sometimes it can feel like you're not necessarily playing with anybody else. And I think if you just took all of what Paladins was and compacted it down and made it a little bit more player interactive, where
But would it then be still Paladins?
it might not even be Paladins. So that that's the thing, is I'm not sure it would be a good fix. I'm not a board game designer, so what do I know?
Okay, next question we have from Brooke. What's been your favorite video so far, either in total or your favorite moment?
Favorite?
I think mine would be our music video. It took us so long to get everything right, to move everything in its place, because we also tried to do the one shot, and it like turned out so beautiful, and it's just one of those videos I'll like look back on and just be proud of. So if you haven't seen it, please do, and comment in the video and say, hey, the questions and answers and Ilya and Tyler and Red sent you over here.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because that was like a one take video, at least for like your take was one take and then my take was, it was
took us a lot of takes to get it. Yeah. What's yours?
I think I might have to agree with you, but also I think we were fortunate enough to be able to play test Keystone. And then not only that, it just
That's true.
led all the way up to this point where Isaac and Lindsay were generous enough to say, hey, like we want you to keep helping us, and we were fortunate enough.
I forgot about that actually. That was really special.
Yeah, so I think like that culmination of events like really made me proud to be creating content, but also getting more involved with the board game community.
There's some cool B-roll in that video too.
And specifically I had a really fun time doing the B-roll for Keystone. Yeah.
Okay, Rolando asks, what games are you divided on? One of you loves it, the other doesn't.
I would say not a whole lot, but I can instantly think of one.
Recently that we
Yeah, it's called Quantitative Easing.
QE!
Yes.
I really enjoyed it, and Tyler didn't. And that's okay, because there's lots of games out there But it is sad for me because it's also a 3-player game. So not only do we have to have a friend over, now I have to have 2 friends over in order to
Yeah,
play.
I told Ilya that I would try it again if we had a full player count.
This was after the first time we played it, where he said he will never play it again.
Yeah, I did not have a good experience. I just think there's a little bit of a flaw, but I'm not going to get into it.
Okay, next question. What was the first game you played, and what's the game that got you into the board game world? And were those same or different? And that's from Risa.
Risa, hello. Different. Definitely different.
Yeah,
for
different
me.
For me too.
Because I started playing board games when I was younger,
Mhm.
and that included like basically Life, Clue, Monopoly,
Yahtzee.
and I guess Yahtzee. Oh, and like me and my family played Crib all the time.
Mhm.
And Joker, Rummy, like card games all the
Mhm.
time. So that's really where I started enjoying games.
What discovered the board game world for you?
Yeah, it wasn't until we started looking more into board games and we
Mhm.
played Above and Below.
Mhm.
And I think Hogwarts Battle?
Yeah.
Yeah, the card drop.
Deck building.
Deck
Yeah.
building one. That one and Above and Below really like
Mhm.
propelled me to look further into the board games.
So that was very similar. When I was younger, my grandma would teach us card games like almost every day. We learn a new variation of a card game or like new variant of the rules. So we played cards all the time, and that was really dear to me. Loved Yahtzee, played like those Monopoly, but I never was huge into those like Monopoly, Clue, those types of games. Although I always enjoyed a good board game. I always found myself playing board games when I could. I feel like we went from 0 to 100 so fast when it came to board games.
I think the problem, or not the problem, the reason for that though is because like both of us were already interested in board games, and then when we kind of like
We got like a
found each
mystery
other,
box.
yeah, we found each other like at this perfect moment that was just like, oh, maybe I should get board games, and then Ilya was like, no, maybe I should get board games, and
Yeah,
then
they
we
were
were both
gifts.
like, oh my goodness, let's just get games.
Yeah, I remember our first Christmas we had a lot of board games we exchanged, and then the second Christmas we had like double that.
No, second Christmas I said we weren't allowed to buy each other board games.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that was the third Christmas.
No, it was definitely the
no,
second
that was the third Christmas.
Nope.
Anyways, but yeah, I think there was a time where we just got so many games at once. We got like a mystery box of a bunch of games. But yeah, I think mine would also be if I, again, wish my memory was better at this. But I think Above and Below was the one I was like, wow, there's a whole world out there. This game is so interesting. This is what board games can be, and then it just snowballed and cascaded away from that. Next question we have from Kevin. There's a few here, so we're going to go step by step and answer them as we go.
Okay.
How often do you play board games in a typical week?
At least 3 times a week. At
Correct.
least. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say usually 4, maybe at least 4.
I'll say this: we play games at least 3 times a week, and we play at least 2 games every time we play.
Sometimes we play one game. Usually we play 2.
Yeah, you usually like starting out with like a small one or
That's
ending
true.
with a small one.
That's
So
true. Okay, is it hard to make time for them?
no.
I don't think so. I think it's so much part of our like culture and
Yeah.
lifestyle. They're just part of it. Like
Especially with COVID happening right now, like we don't get the opportunity to hang out with a lot of people, and when we do, it's easier to just have a small group of people over to play games.
Yes. What's the ratio of time spent on content production versus just playing games?
Right now, I'd say we play more games than we make content.
I agree. I think it's pretty equal because content production takes a long time.
The editing does. for
Well, like
videos.
there's a lot that goes into it, like the photography that we do, like planning everything out. Sometimes we don't usually script, but sometimes scripting, editing takes a long time.
Editing takes the longest.
But I think we play enough games to kind of even that out.
Yeah, and also like when we first started it, whole different story.
Yes.
The
Content creation was way more.
took up a lot of time.
Because we had no idea what we're doing.
Yeah,
We're
we're just
how
trying
do
to
we
figure it all
how do we
out.
edit this? Use the software. And what are your favorite things to do outside of board games and photography? We kind of talked a little bit about this with second hobby question.
Did, yeah.
But we love the
We'll
outdoors.
reiterate, yeah.
We are gonna go backpacking next year, so hold us accountable to that.
I've been slowly like purchasing like the proper equipment every like month, basically, just to make sure that we have all the right stuff to effectively go on
Yes.
a 2-person, 2-day or 2-night,
Mhm.
3-day backpacking trip at least. So
We love learning new things. We're pretty explorers
yes,
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Thank you so much, Kevin. Now, Alexis asks, do you have any particular organizational structure for your board game collection, and do you track your plays?
We definitely track our plays.
We do.
I made a nice Excel sheet because I am obsessed with Excel.
Yeah, I think initially it was to address our shelf of shame / opportunity, because we wanted to make sure that the games were getting the hours of play that they need in order to be worth it.
Yeah, it has like a realized worth. It's really cool.
We are
I can even
math nerds.
Yeah, I can even like show people if they're interested in seeing it. But
Tyler
we just
breaks
assigned
down
$1
our Excel board game sheet video.
Boom.
But if you want it, let him know. And we do definitely organize our board games.
He organizes our board
I
games.
do. I find it extremely stress relieving, and it's my version of self-care essentially. Anytime I want just some time, I take all the board games, I put them in piles. And if we did color, I'll put a picture here what that looked like. Although it's not very functional, I feel like our always go-to and what we always revert back to is publishers, just because it's the easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have much to say about this.
It's also nice because usually with publishers the boxes are similar size, they're similar style, so it just feels good. But if I was to keep it, always I'd do color, because I think color would just look so nice.
It was so hard to find games.
Yeah, it was just hard to find games because you never some boxes are multicolored, so.
Well, even that there's just a blending of the games.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was like, oh, I totally missed that.
It's true. So the next question we have is from NumLC. I'm someone new-ish to board games with a limited collection. I sometimes struggle to find something easy for a casual night in with friends. What is your absolute go-to favorite for getting new friends into board games? Thanks.
I feel like we could talk about this forever.
We can make a series of videos about this.
Let's try to limit this then. If you had 3 games, if you could pick 3 games, what would they be?
Well, before I say the 3 games, let me preface this.
Okay.
I think it very much is dependent on your friends and what they like and what their experience is with games. Because even with our friends, we have a lot of friends we play games with, and out of all those friends, some of them I would never show a game to, while I would show it to many of the others.
That's true.
Just because of their experience and what they like and what they enjoy in games. So, having said that, I really enjoy. Come back to me with the 3. You go do your 3
Come
first.
back to you with the 3?
Let me think.
What is this?
You go first.
My first one would be Calico. And in that same vein, you could pick Cascadia as well. It's just easy to learn. It's super cozy. It just feels like a right game to be playing. And it's easy to learn. Mm-hmm. The second one I would say is Tiny Towns. And I think Tiny Towns is great because there's just, it's especially for spatially aware people, people who like basically doing a Tetris type deal. I think that is a very good game to intro people into. If you can find games that relate to anything, and pop culture, I think you've got something going there. But the other game that I would say for number 3 would be...
Do I have to come back to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Come back to me.
So, number 1, the one that I always show to everybody is Just One. It's a great party, but also, it is a board game because it does have, a lot of those really cool elements. And everybody loves that game that we introduced it to. Number 2, that's more kind of introductory friendly, is Monstrosity. Love the theme in this game. One of you is the victim that essentially saw what happened with the monster, and everyone else is a sketch artist. And you're trying to draw these out of this world creatures that are so random and so funny, and it just always produces a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
And then the other, I have 2, sorry. Azul, I love. This was we introduced to my family, to pretty much everybody. Most people really enjoyed, but it is a little bit more abstract. And then the other side of it's Space Base, because it's a game that everyone always plays every turn, so no one's ever waiting for turns. Because I find that sometimes people struggle with that, especially if they don't know games quite well.
That's a good point.
Do you have a last one?
Yeah, I do. Sushi Go Party.
Sushi Go Party is really fun.
I think it's super easy to learn, especially if you get the bigger box too. You got a lot more of a variability
Sushi
going
Go
on in
Party.
the game.
There's Sushi Go.
Yeah, no, I said Sushi Go Party.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess if you get the party box, there's a lot more variability in the game, but it's as simple as taking a card and passing it along. It almost feels like if you've ever played Spoons growing up, it feels a lot like that.
Also,
So-
before we move on, Pencil First Games has amazing games.
Oh yeah,
that kinda-
any of their games would be fantastic.
Yeah,
games
and
to
they
use.
kind of layer the mechanics, and sometimes or they kind of grow in the difficulty. But Herbaceous is a fantastic one. Sunset Over Water.
Obviously
Whatnot
we could go
Cabinet.
on forever.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Hey,
This
if you're
is why-
interested and want to continue the conversation and let us know what your friends like, comment down below and we'll chat with you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now the next question is from Gamer Cam. Who is the most competitive? Have you ever let the others win? Tyler is definitely the most competitive. I'm still very competitive.
Yeah, I think there's like an unspoken rule in our house that no matter when we play a game, we have to we play to win.
Yeah.
And there's always
As it should be.
yeah. And I think the only thing that we kind of delve into a little, especially when we're with other people that we've just taught the game with, we try to do this thing where we take our actions faster.
Yeah.
We try a completely different strategy that we would normally not
Yeah,
go to.
I remember. I need to find where I read that because I read that a long time ago and it's been a rule we live by. If we ever
Yeah.
introduce games that we know quite well, we just don't think as thoroughly through our actions. Just go kind of instinct or try something new.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean we're not strategically
We're still
thinking
trying.
about it.
We're still
It's
trying.
just we are limiting ourselves to basically work on decision making.
I don't think we let each other win though.
No.
I think we always try very hard. I think the only times it might happen is if one of us has a huge
win
winning streak of 8 or 9 games and the
Yeah.
other one's getting grumpy and being
I feel then
I
we
haven't
just,
won anything in a long time.
Yeah, but I feel then we just turn back to those
Yeah.
rules and we just say, okay, well, if me and Ilya are playing Paladins together, I'm all of a sudden just making my moves as fast as possible.
But I think there's also some games that Tyler's better at, and there's some games that
Yeah.
I'm better at, and we win. And I don't think we ever analyzed what those types of games are. There's just a couple in our collection. Tyler always wins this, and I always win this.
And we've been asked a few times actually if we track our wins.
We do not.
And we do not. Yeah.
We might.
We
Yeah,
might
I feel
start to.
I don't remember who wins sometimes. It's not something that really lives in me being the less competitive one, maybe. But yeah,
I just like winning.
I do too. Next question is from Tea Time Hatter. Ever thought of designing your own game?
Yeah, we have. But
In
personally,
the distant future.
yeah, we're way far out.
We're still trying to figure out the content creation space.
Yeah.
I think it's something we think about from time to time to see how could this theme play with this mechanic but the amount of work, the amount of play, we just don't
Oh my
have the
goodness.
capacity.
And I have so much respect for game designers. They have to know so much. They have to be prepared for so many critiques, so many
It's such a process too.
reiterations.
Yeah.
It's wild to me, but it's also I'm super grateful. So
If you're ever
I just
thinking
couldn't
of
step
designing a
into it.
game, definitely recommend you for you to go and playtest some games because designers are always looking for playtesters, and that's been one of the most rewarding experiences we've had.
Yeah.
It's just seeing, because we've seen games that when they're literally no art, paper, it's a Word document of trying to move things around, and they progress and change so much since we saw that. It's a beautiful thing. What's your latest go-to game?
My latest go-to game.
One word.
Cascadia.
Oh, it's mine.
Well, that's because we played it so many times.
That's true. Kabuto Sumo too.
Yeah, okay.
Who introduced whom to board games? Neither of us, I think.
Yeah,
We
we
both really like board
liked
games.
them, and then
Yeah.
when we met,
The
we
board
just,
game
snowballed.
fusion.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
Which one of you is most likely to be resistant to purchasing a new game?
Me.
That is you.
Yeah, so I will say this. I had a Kickstarter, binge, I guess you could call it, where at the starting of the year, I saw a lot of really cool board games that I was really interested in backing. So I would go on to Kickstarter, make sure I got them. I'd follow along and everything. But now
I had to be the Tyler to be.
yeah.
Tyler, do we really want to back this game? Is this really the?
And then
game
I would
we
have
want?
already backed it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. But
I think typically.
Well,
Yeah.
what I was trying to
Yeah.
say is that I stopped diving deeper into the Kickstarter realm. So now what will happen is Ilya will message me or send me
This
a
is a
link.
cool game. What do you think?
Yeah, and then it'll turn into okay, I think that's a good game. Maybe we should back it. And then he'll go ahead and back it.
Mhm.
But
or purchase it.
yeah,
'cause
I think it's also just turned into this two-way street where we kind of say, hey, I'm interested in this game. Do I have the AOK?
we are responsible adults.
No, you're not.
And And that's all our questions.
Wow, amazing.
If we missed any of your questions, there was quite a bit. And we didn't want this to be like a full 4-hour feature film of Q&As. So if you have any more questions, list them down below. We may do another Q&A.
Or we might just answer them in the comments.
Or we might incorporate them into our check it outs because we do have a question of the day. You might answer in the comments. There's lots of possibilities.
Yeah.
Now, if you're here for the Cascadia giveaway, it's time for us to draw the winner. So we'll do the magical spinny wheel. And this is the winner.
Congratulations.
Now, make sure to contact us within about, let's say 72 hours.
Yeah.
If you don't hear from there, we're going to make an attempt to contact you and find you as well. But we will draw another winner if that we cannot reach out to you.
Exactly, yeah.
So thank you so much for entering, and there will be more giveaways down the road.
Stay tuned.
And in general, thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoy our content, if you're new to our channel, let us know in the comments down below. Hit that like button. What else should they do?
Subscribe and hit that bell notification, because we're always making content, and we're always happy when people come along and watch our videos.
Help us celebrate our 1,000 videos. If you are new to our channel, check out some more older videos. Maybe our music video. Comment on it. Let us know that you found it. Share any videos that you might really enjoy of ours to help others discover us too, because we'd love to grow our community and family.
Plug the channel. No, but seriously, we really appreciate all of your support. We are grateful to be here. We have a lot of fun doing what we're doing, and we're just gonna keep going. Yeah,
we have a lot of love for this community, and games have brought so many memorable experiences into our lives, and even that mind experience. Like, I think about that quite a lot because I haven't laughed like that in a long time.
Yeah, it was a good moment.
So if you know games that produce lots of laughs, I love laughing.
And if you have a video idea that you would like us to do, we've briefly mentioned that we're looking into ways to doing a little bit more strategic games. So if you have ideas,
we're gonna hit our 1 year pretty soon here. So we've been thinking of all the different ways that we want to kind of re-energize our channel a little bit and grow.
Adapt, be amazing, hoorah!
Well, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
We will see you in the next one. Bye.